Right, if it's just joined us or you're still with us, this is still Enterprise Friday, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. Senate President Godswill Akpabio has clarified that the National Assembly has not suspended legislative actions on the tax reform bills despite ongoing controversies.
On Wednesday, Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibrin formed a special committee to engage with federal government representatives regarding the bills.
However, reports had suggested a suspension. During Thursday's plenary, Akpabio emphasized the Senate's independence, stating it would not be bullied into halting the bills, which he argued are in the public's best interest.
And consultations with stakeholders, including governors and religious leaders, are ongoing to address concerns. The 6-week consultation period may be extended to ensure transparency and consensus. Senate leader Okpeyemi Bamidele reinforced that deliberations continue, dismissing any claims of suspension or withdrawal.
He also warned against attempts to intimidate the legislative process, asserting the Senate's commitment to its constitutional responsibilities. The bills comprising the Nigeria's Tax Bill, Tax Administration Bill, Revenue Service Establishment Bill, and Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill were proposed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on October 3.
And they have faced opposition from the Northern States Governors Forum, which argues the proposals would harm regional interests, and the National Economic Council, which requested their withdrawal. And despite this, Tinubu insists the bills aim to enhance Nigeria's tax system and public welfare.
All right, that's what we have to talk about today, and still with us is Ola Jumoke. Thank you so very much. We truly do appreciate your time for hanging on. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Mecca, thank you as always.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get into the discussion now. I'd love to start with you, Ola Jumoke. And of course, it's been making rounds across the social media space and also the traditional media regarding the tax reform bills and so on and so forth, but particularly the fact that the northern hierarchy, political hierarchy, are not comfortable with what is happening. Tell us, and maybe fleshing that out for us, what exactly is it that is the issue with the northern leaders accepting this bill?
Okay, like you mentioned, these 4 bills were presented by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on September 3, actually, to the National Assembly, and it followed recommendations from the Presidential Committee on Fiscal and Tax Reforms led by Taiwo Uyedele. It was in October that the National Assembly then asked that maybe the President should withdraw the bills because of the controversies that it had generated. It was actually the National Economic Council who recommended to the President to withdraw the bills because of the controversies that he had recommended. And in October, President Tinubu said, no, let it go through, normal hearing. Normal assembly, if it is thrown out, by the members, then okay. But I don't have to withdraw it, let it go through. Now, there have been a lot of controversies because a few of us believe that Nigerians, even though they claim that we do not pay taxes, we're already overtaxed. Nigeria has over 200 different taxes, over 200. Aside from the formal taxes, you hear, oh, it is something consumption. You transfer money here, they withhold 50 naira. You receive money, they withhold 50 naira. VAT was 5%, it was increased to 7.5. They are now increasing it also to 10%. Pay as you earn. A lot of people, it's on, before you receive your salary, it's 5%, it has been withdrawn. For companies, there's company income tax, there's personal income tax for people who earn salaries, all sorts of taxes, all right? Now, the way some taxes have been managed and spent, for instance, VAT, that has been very controversial. And one of the tenets of these 4 bills, for instance, the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill, which is supposed to Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill is supposed to replace the Federal Inland Revenue Service, right? So if, for instance, VAT used to be 100 naira, and we have 36 states, and all of you come and collect 3 naira, some of the reforms are suggesting that you only earn as much as you contribute to VAT. For a place like Kano that practices Sharia law and is breaking bottles with their Hezbollah police or beer, that we practice Sharia here, we don't drink beer. So when VAT generated by people drinking in Lagos and Port Harcourt, and it gets to PAC, federal allocation, the same Kano will come cap in hand to collect out of the taxes generated from alcohol that they have destroyed. So now, one of the reforms is that if you, Lagos, you have contributed 200 million, and you, Port Harcourt, River State, you have contributed 70 million. When we are allocating, so your contribution 60% goes to you first. If I will now share with the others that they not contribute, Kano has a huge population after Lagos, they can now come and collect 10%. Now, a few northern governors found that this because it means that their location that they already claim is not enough because they have huge population will be further reduced. And places like Lagos and River State that are bordered by the Atlantic Ocean and have large internally generated, because a lot of companies are placed in these places, oil companies in River State, major companies in Nigeria have their headquarters in Lagos. People don't want to move to Abuja, a lot of them don't have, branch offices in Lagos, which will be paying taxes, aside from corporate income tax. Their employees will be paying their personal income tax to Lagos State. So it's not like our local professor Zulu in Borno is complaining. Yesterday, President Tinubu said, Governor Zulu, that's what he said. Put on your thing, he can cap and generate revenue internally.
Thank you so much.
Southern governors in support of the tax reforms. But the northern governors are now saying, but we use our Grano pyramid to send people in the south to school many years ago. You want to now reduce our allocation. So all of the drama being thrown up is actually funny to all.
Thank you so much, Olajuwon.
That's very interesting.
Emeka Madnago now let's look at Akpabio's statement. And given Akpabio's statement that the Senate will not be bullied, now how do you interpret the tension between legislative independence and executive pressure in this case?
Thank you. Well, the legislature will not be bullied. Well, it's just like saying that the sun will not rise in the east tomorrow. There will always be bullying. There will always be filibusters. There will always be arguments. There will always be pressure, lobbying. That's politics. Politics is about interest. You don't expect that, you've been giving a child chocolate every day, and then the thing is pinching your pocket. And suddenly you tell the child, Bobo, now look, this daily chocolate, we may have to make it every 3 days or once a week. And you say, okay, daddy, I understand. Okay, no problem. No. The roof will come down. Even the elements will intervene on that child's behalf. You understand? Not to talk of a large body like Nigeria. Nobody in this world wants to pay tax. Not even the best person on earth wants to pay tax. Because tax is an inconvenience on your earnings. To be very frank with you. And in a place like Nigeria, where all kinds of taxes are thrown at people. You can pay levies, pay taxes, and still one small agency from nowhere can come and say shut your factory for one funny thing or the other and give you a bill, you know, that you just wonder from where. So what I'm saying is that, you know, Akpabio's statement is just laughable and should be dismissed. You know, although to one other side, it shows you that they have actually come under a lot of pressure. Yes, like Jumoke said, President Tinubu has told Zulum, put on your thinking cap. Look, you have been giving children, you have been giving these people candy on a daily basis, giving them chocolates, and you just want to wake up with plenty tureji and remove the chocolate. Come on, and you think they will just sit idly by. When I say these people, I'm not even talking about the ordinary people on the streets. I'm talking about the overfed, over-subsidized Nigerian politician. Because all this money, is it trickling down to the people? The answer is no. Otherwise, you won't have Nigerians on the streets.
Very true.
So, the thing is this. We've just got to, you see, some people have also come back to the extreme position. That let's use this opportunity to just do a referendum and break Nigeria. I said, look, when you break Nigeria, you see the things you are complaining about in Nigeria. Let's say you break Nigeria now, okay, and you have Biafra. You have Oduduwa Republic. You have Arewa Republic. Do you know what will happen? The things you are complaining about in Nigeria will now come in smaller forms, in different forms, within those new entities. And you know what? Will you now start saying, no. These people, in fact, when we were in Nigeria, it was better. This and this and this. Let us learn to manage and make good use of our differences, of our challenges. Let's look at them as economic opportunities. As far as I'm concerned, this vaccine, if I was a governor, is even a big opportunity for me. As long as there is money that they are not going to stop giving my state our own allocation. Sefini, look, let me tell you something funny. You know rabbits, no? These rabbits we call English rabbit because you know grass cutters and this bush rabbit, we call them rabbits too. So a friend of mine was telling me that rabbit urine, 1 jerrycan, 25 liters, is 50,000 naira.
Really?
And that is much sought after as fertilizer.
Wow.
As a good organic fertilizer. That he's thinking of going into rearing rabbits. Now, there are states where their weather, where the climate is conducive to the rearing of rabbits. But they're not doing that. Look at something like cassava. China and the rest of them are looking for cassava, seriously. What is being done? Nothing. Is it yam? Ghanaian farmers come to Nigeria, buy yam heads from Nigeria, go and cultivate in Ghana, package them very well,
And send them back.
and send them out because they have a better ease of doing business than Nigeria. Now let me tell you what moves an economy. Consumption. Let people eat. In fact, this is Christmas period. This is Yuletide. Let people eat. Let people go out. Let people enjoy. Let people go to the stadium. Go and, after eating, go and gym and all those things. Look, just follow them with your calculator. What is coming in? You will find out that there's so much money because there's no excuse. We have the population, 200 million people. We have the energy, we have the knowledge. Education is one of our biggest industries in Nigeria. So everything we need to be a great nation, to be a nation with just small debt, is available. Even if the politicians want to be overindulgent, there's enough. But you know what? You got to put in the hard work. That's the problem we have as Nigerians. You understand? That's why somebody says that in the dictionary, it's only in the dictionary that success comes before work. You got to put in the hard work. That's why we went to school. You got to put in the hard work. And let me tell you, if you put in the hard work, there's so much potential in this country. Do you know France now has been cut off by many of his francophone friends. Now it depends 17% on uranium from Niger. Now France is looking towards Nigeria, saying that it will help to revive 2,000 abandoned pits. Now those pits are not pits where you have coal or graphite, or uranium pits. That's where France is looking at. Nigeria has 2,000 uranium pits, and every market day we're going about looking for loans. Then ask yourself a question: that is the entire political elite that has been disappointing this country. So the thing is this, there is so much money in this country. You see all those Almajiris you live on the streets. Let me tell you something. If you train them in Islamic education, train them in vocational education, train them in Western education, do you know what? You will have big assets that, let me tell you, they will generate more money than Lagos. You think Lagos has port, has airport and all of that. Look, otherwise, Dubai has a big seaport now. Name it now, New York and all of that, New York, New Jersey, they have big ports now. They should be making more revenues, you know, than certain other countries. But is that the case? The answer is no. Look at Saudi Arabia. It's moving away from oil. Look at the thing Saudi Arabia is in. The thing is this place. You have to sweat this grey matter. Money is available everywhere. But you know what? You got to think and look for it.
Thank you so much, Emeka.
Very true. Olajumoke, Emeka did say sweating the grey matter, which of course is our heads. But let's not forget the political space we find ourselves. Clearly, there is an obvious dichotomy right now between the North and the South and politicians, the elites. Knowing whom our president is, he is someone who is politically hungry. He will do anything to get politicians to his side. Do you think it's ever possible for him to cave in?
It's a very deep question, Henry. And to agree with what Mr. Madunagu already said, that politics is about lobbying, you know. It's about politicking. Never say never. We stop one, but if he was able to convince the National Economic Council, who had asked him to withdraw the bills. You know, they asked him in October to withdraw the bills he had sent in September. And he said, no, why should I? Let's see go through the normal process. He was able to withstand their arguments. Because from September, these bills have been throwing up with a lot of hoopla. You know, Nigerians are still talking about tax reforms. Out of school and even, you know, everyone already was able to withstand that. I do not think that even. Secondly, why I do not think it came in is, and then some persons who believe his political vision this time around, because he was a kingmaker in Lagos.
Yes.
You know, why did he have to aspire to be the president? Was because he wanted to do some kind of economic restructuring of the country, which is that the South cannot be, all of us own crude oil in the belly of the Niger Delta. But Zamfara's gold, this was Zamfara's future children. The government was holding it. So also we say, that tax comes from Lagos. Lagos owns 60% of it. What's about tax? Be it VAT or public income tax, because public income tax goes to the federal government, right? The companies are in Lagos, they are in Port Harcourt, but the taxes go to the federal government. Then you, Zamfara, you remember Governor Kawale? He was living in Abuja. Close to collect when you go with his car in hand to collect his federal allocation every month. Well, terrorists were decimating his people back home. But now, when they say 50% of that money is going to the people who generate it, only 10% will come to you, and that's based on population. The remaining 30%, there are different factors for how you will get it. So when you realize that before you used to collect 100 naira every month, you are now only getting 10 naira or 15 naira. You cannot feed your grid. Focus on build infrastructure. Your people start to own you very soon. You will have to think outside of the box. Thirdly, in 2017, that stated and showed that there is no state in our 36 states in Nigeria without natural resources. If they don't have gold or crude oil or uranium, it will be some gas that we can export. Either nitrogen or phosphorus, there will be something in the underbelly. Lagos and Kebbi could do lake rice together. Lagos will bring the oil, Kebbi will bring the land and call it lake rice. But the governors truly think outside of the box. The economy will be replaced. It will be more robust. It will not just be crude oil. All of us are dependent on. We will go back to our individual states. We go and look at what we have within.
Thank you so much, Olajumoke.
So, what should the president then cave in on this tax reform? What we the people have a problem against is further taxing the impoverished people for the greed of the political elite.
Thank you so much, Olajumoke. Thank you. Mekama, now go over to you now. I want to come on regional fairness. Do you think the proposed tax reform bills will significantly address the concerns by the northern states governors, particularly about regional fairness? Because they feel at this point they are not being fair to them. Now in 60 seconds, can we just get
being fed?
Yes. They're not being fair to them.
Okay, I thought you said you are not being fed. You see, the problem is this feeding bottle federalism.
Feeding
you know, Chaba is speaking. Chaba is trying to suffocate me before now here. So she said fair. I thought she said fed because the problem here is feeding. Is this you are talking fair? They are looking at fed. They are looking at being fed. That is the issue. The feeding bottle federalism we have in Nigeria is the problem. Choma is clearly talking about fairness. These people are not looking at fairness because let me tell you something. When you have a cup like this cup, the issue is that you have a cup, whether it's full or half empty. The point is you've got a cup. So when people say some states in Nigeria are viable, I ask them, don't they have individuals? There are human beings living there. That is the beginning of it. The human capital. Human capital is the wealth of any nation. And let me tell you, insofar as the tax reform, my own is section 3, my own grounds is section 63 that says that the taxes will be administered by one agency or any other organization. I don't want any alpha beta coming into the mix. Let me say my own. Then secondly, well, there must be attribution before derivation. If wherever the taxes, wherever the VAT is earned, let it be paid right there. Let it be paid right there. Let it go to the state. Thirdly, look, we just have to tell ourselves the truth. There is this song that says we used to dance in secondary school. No romance without finance. No romance without finance. So there can be no political unity without finance. So what it means is that governors should begin to think more. Because what we're going towards now is restructuring the country. No matter how the North tries to prevent restructuring, we are heading that direction now. So if you like, you can keep your gold. Let the Niger Delta keep their oil. And then let us now deal with the resources we have here. And then let the states pay taxes and royalties to the federal government. And let me tell you something. You see all of these things, whether you are being fair or you are being fed or whatever, will cease. Because then people will think, how can a governor of a northern state go and buy an official car, a BMW, brand new BMW, I've forgotten the cost, that can put so many children in school? And you are talking of VAT. How much is even this VAT? 10%. If you think, well, there are bigger fruits to run after than VAT. VAT is just 10%. That's small money. That's chicken money. That's small money.
Thank you so much.
There are bigger things you can run after. And if you do that, if you can unlock the potential in your state, if you can unlock the potential in your people, when I talk about people, I'm not talking only about indigenes of a state. Even people, from all over the world living in your state. If you can make your state an attractive destination for people to visit and spend money. And then, lastly, you can embark on fiscal reforms. Cut the cost of governance. Remove your greed from the way. Let me tell you, you will even be giving loans to the federal government. I'm just telling you.
All right, Olajumoke, just to wind up, if you may add this to your part in short, you made a very classical example in your opening statement where you said the Northerners are saying that in the 60s and before then, their groundnut pyramid were used to explore oil in the southern part of Nigeria, repair our seaports in Lagos, of course, which had given us the so-called advantage they said that we have today. We do not want to hold brief for them. Some other Northerners have equally said that knowing that the northern part of Nigeria are predominantly agricultural based, when root crops are cultivated in the north, when vegetables are cultivated in the north, they bring them towards the south. So it is consumed in the south, which means what they have produced, they will get VAT for, will be paid in states where they are consumed. So don't you think there should be a balance in some of these things?
Absolutely. Anything we do must always be balanced. On the Iowa youth movement for supporting this bill, saying that it will increase, like I mentioned before, infrastructural base, it will increase revenue generation. But when the northern elite say, but we use our groundnut pyramid, to fund the country. Yes, we have groundnut pyramids in the north. Why did they abandon them? Because we found oil in the south region. But we also had coal plantations in the southwest. That, the premier of the western region, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, used to send southwestern children to school. And in those days, he reached out to the elite in the north and said, look, it's your resources to send your children to school. No. Our culture, Amajari culture is our culture here. They cannot blame anybody. The contraction Nigeria has not been fairer to any other region than the north. They actually even believe that leadership is their birthright. That those Westerners, they just like speaking plain to people, they are educated. We were the born to rule. That's what they said. So now, all rulers, go and cultivate your land. Sell your resources. They were not giving us the farm produce for free. They are planting and taking it for us to eat in Lagos. They are not giving us tomatoes and yams. We are paying for them. So if the federal government collects the part of that and gives them 60% of it, are also okay with it. Let every state, every region go into their underbellies, produce what they have, export if they can, exchange interstate if they can, and earn, enriching the economic base. And their own resources so that they are contributing and not just coming to the Federation to continually receive. Thank you.
Thank you so
much. Let me just quickly add
something.
The one thing that is missing in this debate is the value added tax. It's not extraction tax, you just bring here and go and sell. You are now being challenged to add value. So you say you bring all these things to the south. Oga, when you harvest your tomato, turn it to tomato puree. You now have the whole world to export to. Like what Dangote is doing. Nigeria, if you won't buy my fuel, no problem. I will sell it to anywhere, to different parts of the world. That is value addition. And when we begin to think in that direction, Nigeria will be better. Add value to everything you own. Go beyond extraction. Add value. That is what should be drummed into the heads of our politicians. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. We sincerely want to appreciate Olajumoke. Thank you. Truly thank you for your incisive take on our discussion today.
Thank you so much.
It's been my honor. It's been my honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Emeka Madunago, thank you
so much.
All right, people, that's just about the time we have for today. I would love to believe that you enjoyed the show just like we did right here in the studios. But please do well to follow up on us. You can always find and reach us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms, also at Enterprise TV 7. Until we see you next time, I am Henry Igwebike.
And I'm Choma Okoye.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.